Yo, what's going on, guys? Clutch back again with another video for you guys, and today it is going to be another tactics video. Now, this is a new one. This is a special one for me today. What I'm going to be showing you guys is my full range of custom tactics from my when I'm trying to defend a lead, my standard play, maybe my trying to score a goal, and my all-out attack. I'm going to give you a full in-depth explanation to all of it, so hopefully you guys do enjoy this video. Now, before we do get into it, if you haven't already, please drop a like on the video, drop a comment as well if you've got any questions, have anything you want to ask, and also smash that sub button as well if you haven't already. We are trying to get to 5,000 subscribers, and we're ever so slowly getting there, and every single one of you that do hit that sub button helps a ton, so it'll be massively appreciated. So, like I said, guys, we are going to get into it, and like I said, we are covering all the formations today, all 4 sets. I'm super excited for this one. So we are going to start with our ultra defensive one. This is the tactic that we would use if we're trying to hold a lead, try and be as defensive as we can, and try and not concede any goals. So the formation we are using for this one is the 5-4-1. And this is how it's going to play out. So we do have our defensive style unbalanced. This is mainly just due to the fact of not needing to press for the ball. Like I said, we are just trying to sit back. You could go and drop back if you like, but for me personally, I just don't enjoy using it. I find that they sit too deep and they actually invite too much pressure on. You can't get out of the press and you end up conceding goals. Now, my width is on 45, mainly just to tuck those fullbacks in and to make sure we don't concede goals. And also our depth is on 45 as well. Now, this is mainly due to the fact of, again, trying to have a little bit of a deeper line and not concede any silly through balls. Now, the build-up play is on long ball. It is mainly on long ball, like I said, to try and beat that press. A lot of the time, like I said, we're going to be soaking up pressure and hitting teams on the counter-attack. Because as much as we are defending, if the opportunity arises to score a goal or even just get up the pitch, go into the corner and waste time, that is definitely what we're going to do. Obviously, to then further that, we are going to use direct passing as well, which encourages your strikers with high attacking positioning and sprint speed to make better attacking in behind runs. Now, we are also using 40 width. Now, this is mainly due to the fact of the left mid, right mids, just getting them slightly more central basically. Helps us move the ball around better and helps us beat that press. I do have 5 players in the box on as well. Now, this is mainly due to the fact of just trying to be a bit more defensive. Usually I use 6 or 7, but we do have it on 5 because we're not trying to commit too many bodies forward, only if we are counter-attacking. And then we do have corners and free kicks both on 2 to obviously avoid counter-attacks when we are obviously going forward. And also as well, we can score a corner set-piece tactic as well, which is very good, which obviously might be a little goal as well to try and help us score. Now, like I said, we are running the 5-4-1, and this is how the team is set up. And then we have the instructions. So we do have our striker and stay central, getting behind. Pretty self-explanatory here. We obviously want him to stay in those central areas and make those in-behind through-ball runs to try and help us score goals on the counter-attack. We do have both of our centre midfielders on stay but while attacking cover centre. Now, this will be mainly due to the fact that we are trying to protect our back line as much as we can. So we do just want 2 defensive midfielders there to sit there and marshal the line in front of that back line. Now, we do have both of our wingers on come back on defence, cut inside, getting behind, getting to the box for cross. Now, obviously come back on defence is to help defend when we are defending. Cut inside is, like I said, for them to just tuck in and be a little bit more narrow to help build up play. Obviously, we do have them on getting behind as well. So when we are looking for those long ball passes and those direct passing like runs, hopefully they'll make those runs in behind. And then we do have them on getting to the box across as well. Just so, like I said, if we do have any easy goal scoring opportunities on the counter, we do want them being available at the back post for cutbacks and crosses and things like that. Then we do have all of our centre-backs and our goalie all on default instructions. And then we do have both of our wing-backs on stay but while attacking, again, to make sure we don't concede any silly goals. Now, we are going to go on to our defensive one. Now, this would be the tactic that I personally use when I start the game. This will be the one that I try and generally use and score goals with. Now, this is for the 4-2-3-1. So, the defensive style, again, is balanced because for me personally, I don't like to press too much. Obviously, we have the high depth, and I'll go into that and explain how that helps press. But I don't like to use any of the defensive style presses because generally your players run out of position and things like that. I'm personally not a fan. So, like I said, we do have 45 width. Again, to just try and tuck those fullbacks in, try and not concede any silly in-behind through balls, especially through the gaps of the centre-back and the fullback. We do have 71 depth on. Again, like I said, 71 depth obviously helps you press. Unless you've been living under a rock, you know about 71 depth and how overpowered it is. It's an absolute joke. You can obviously win the ball back so easily with it. Now we do have build-up play again on balanced. For me, I'm not a fast build-up guy or a slow build-up guy. The only one I could maybe understand using is long ball. But again, for me, I'm personally just not a fan. When I'm trying to play the 4-2-3-1, I just feel like it's just a completely different style of play and a different way of playing completely, and something I just don't really feel like we need. Now the chance creation is on direct passing. Again, we are trying to play through balls and things like that, and direct passing is the best way to make the most of through balls. Obviously, we hopefully have strikers with good attacking positioning, good sprint speed, acceleration, things like that, and hopefully they can really take advantage of those in behind runs and really try and make the most of it. Now we do have our width on 45. Again, just trying to narrow those wide cams. We don't want them too wide. We do want them being able to get involved with the central cam and the striker. Now we do have our players in the box on 6. So again, just that natural progression of trying to be a little bit more attacking and aggressive. We are really trying to break those lines and get extra bodies in the box. This might be as well. Some midfielders might get a bit involved and things like that, and not necessarily just our attackers. And then also we do have our corners and free kicks both on 2. Now this is mainly, again, just to avoid counter-attacks and also to try and score our set-piece tactics as well for corners. Now we are going to get into the instructions. Obviously this is how we have the team laid out. So I do have my striker on stay central, getting behind. Now this is because I do, again, want him to make those central runs in behind. It really is just as simple as that. There's not a lot to explain with this one. We obviously do have the wide support with the wide cams and the fullbacks. So there you go. Now I do have my cam on stay forward, getting to the box for cross. Now this is mainly due to the fact that basically you just want him involved. Like, he basically ends up playing like a second striker, and it almost ends up playing a bit like a 4-4-1-1. But you have the wide cams compared to left mid, right mids, and it works very well. Also, as well, we have him up there as well, just to avoid that glitch where your CDM and your cam switch positions, and obviously get into the box for cross for cutbacks and things like that. Now we do have both of our wide cams on come back on defence, get into the box for cross. Now this is mainly due to the fact of, like I said again, having some extra bodies coming back and helping defend. And trust me, they do still bomb forward even though they're on comeback on defence, so you don't have to stress about that. And then we do have both of them as well on get into the box for cross, show up for those back post runs for cutbacks, all that good stuff. Now we do have both of our CDMs on stay but one attack and cover centre. Not sure why Messi and Bruno G have swapped positions. I've only just clocked that. But they have, so that's fun. So yeah, we do have both of them on stay but one attack and cover centre. Now this is, again, mainly due to the fact of trying to protect that back line and be as defensively sound as possible. Obviously, they will still drift up, especially if you trigger runs as well, so don't have to stress too much there. Both of our centre-backs are on default instructions. Our keeper is on comes for crosses, sweeper, keeper, just to make sure we don't concede any silly crosses or any silly over-the-top through balls, just to have him basically on his line and ready. And then we do have both of our fullbacks on stay but one attacking, again, to help protect that back line and for us to concede as little goals as possible. Do you want to have an amazing team like this? Well, head over to IGGM.com to get the cheapest and most reliable coins on FC24 and use code CLUTCH at checkout for 5% off. Now guys, we are going to move on to our attacking instructions. So this is the formation where maybe I'm a goal or two down, trying to pull the game back without having to go full press. Basically try and just be a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more attacking, and try and move up the pitch basically quicker and try and score goals. So defensive style is press after possession loss. Now this is because basically with the 4-3-2-1, which I didn't actually say is the formation, so there you go, the 4-3-2-1. Obviously we do have a lot of players in those central areas, and it means it can be quite easy to get players up the pitch and trap people up the pitch. So really trying to win that ball higher is the best way to play it. Now we do have our width on 45. Again, this is mainly due to the fact of just trying to tuck those fullbacks in and make sure we don't concede any silly through balls. And then obviously we do have the 71 depth as well, which is mainly down to just trying to basically press as much as we can. Obviously, as I explained earlier, the pressing is so good, and it makes it so easy to basically win the ball back. And like I said, when we are trying to be a bit more aggressive as well, it's the perfect way to play. Now we do have our build-up play on fast build-up. Now, this is mainly, again, due to the fact of trying to get up the pitch as quick as we can and try and turn the ball over and score goals. Obviously, it does make us a bit more vulnerable to the counter-attack, but that's something we just have to, you know, take on the chin, because we're trying to score goals, we're trying to be more aggressive, so there's no problem with that. We're trying to basically just go all out, really. And then we do have our chance creation on direct passing. Again, for me, there isn't really a world where you ever take direct passing off, because it's the way to basically that helps you score the most goals. Forward, people like to do forward runs, which for me, I don't mind it, but I'm not a massive fan compared to direct passing. I just think direct passing is the best way to try and really get the best out of the through balls, and the through balls are the best, basically, meta to beat most players. Now, the width is on 45. Now, this really, you could have 45 or 50. It doesn't really make much of a difference. I'm really just trying to make sure, basically, our attackers are just a little bit more narrow, just to try and move the ball as quick as we can. Like I said, we are really trying to get up that pitch, and I do want these strikers playing in those central areas, but we'll obviously see what I'm talking about in the instructions. And then we do have our players in the box on 7. Now, this is obviously just to basically get that extra body in the box, try and score goals, just try and be that little bit more attacking and have those extra bodies there, just to make sure we don't basically bottle attacks. We just want to try and have as many options and try and overload as much as we can. And then we do have corners and free kicks both on 2, obviously, again, to still avoid conceding counter attacks and to score our set piece tactics as well. Now, this is how we have the team laid out. Messi at centre mid to joke. If you don't know, get to know. And then this is the instructions. So I do have my left centre forward and my strikers both on stay central, getting behind. Now, the way we have set up these instructions is basically when we are going forward, it will basically play as the 4-3-2-1. But when we are defending, it will play as a 4-4-2 and just be a little bit easier to defend with. Because obviously, as much as we are trying to bomb forward and score goals, we do still need to be defensively sound. So we do have both of our strikers on stay central, getting behind, again, to basically play as our 2 up front. We want them basically standing in those central areas and making as many getting behind runs as possible. We do have our right centre forward on drift wide, getting behind. This is so if when we are defending, he'll basically play, like I said, with the drift wide on, he'll basically play as the right mid of the 4-4-2. And then obviously we do have him on getting behind as well, just to make those attacking runs in behind. And this is also why I had the 45 width when on the attacking side, just so when we are going forward, it counteracts that drift wide a little bit. Now we do have our right centre mid and our central centre mid basically as our 2 centre midfielder / CDM players. These 2 will be the guys that help defend and protect that back line as much as we can. And then we do have our left centre mid on getting to the box of cross cover centre. Now this will be your more attacking player. He'll basically end up playing as your left mid when we are defending, but also as almost like a third attacker when we are going forward. And we'll basically just get a lot of left-sided overloads and really try and focus on attacking down that left-hand side. Now, we do have both of our centre-backs and our keeper all on default instructions. Again, not trying to do anything too mad. And then we do have our left-back on overlap because, like I said, we really are trying to focus on attacking down this left side of the pitch. Because, like I said, we have him on overlap, Messi as the attacking midfielder, and then we have Diaby as our second striker as well, all on that left side. And then we do have both of our centre-backs, like I said, on just defaults, and then we have our right-back on stay-back while attacking overlap. So he will be the more, like, basically the more defensive one. But also, if we do trigger runs for him as well, he will overlap. And now we will go on to our ultra attacking. This will be our all-out attack formation. Now we are using a 3-1-4-2. So it's a 3 centre-backs, a CDM, 2 centre-mids, a left mid, right mid, and 2 strikers. So our defensive style is on constant pressure. Again, this is at the point where maybe you might be 2, 3, 4 goals down. You're full sending it to try and get some goals back. Otherwise, you're probably going to quit. So this is what I would use. So constant pressure there. Again, the width is on 45. Really is up to you. I just like to kind of just make my defence a little bit more narrow to make sure we don't concede any through balls. We do obviously have that depth on 71 as well to help us press as much as we can. We do have the build-up play on fast build-up again. Like I said, trying to commit bodies forward as much and as quick as we can. Obviously, at this point, you're not really too bothered about defending. You are just trying to make sure you go forward. Now, the chance creation is on direct passing. Again, like I said, it is by far the most meta way to basically attack on the game. So why would we stop using it? We're not going to. So direct passing stays on. Now, the width is on 40. Now, this is mainly due to the left mid, right mids. We do want them just to tuck in and basically play like Ram style players and just get even more involved in the attack. Because, like I said, we really are trying to bomb people forward. Now, our players in the box is still on 7 because for me, that is the limit to go to before it just starts to become a bit too many bodies forward, people get in each other's way, and it just becomes a bit too chaotic. And then I do have my corners and free kicks still on 2 to try and obviously make sure we don't concede any more goals, don't concede any silly counter-attacks and score those corners. Obviously, this is how we have the team laid out. Obviously, we have, again, Messi at left centre mid to try and be a bit more attacking in this situation. Now, we do have both of our strikers on stay central getting behind. As I've spoke about earlier, obviously the reasons for this are to try and make the most of the through balls and keep them in those central areas. We do have our left centre mid on cover centre getting to the box for cross. This is mainly, again, like I said, to try and get him in more attacking and aggressive positions to try and score goals. We do have our CDM on stay back while attacking cover centre still. Now, this is mainly due to the fact of, because obviously as much as we are trying to bomb forward, we still don't want to concede any more goals, so we do have a little bit defensive aspects in mind just to try and make sure we don't concede any silly goals. Then we also do have our right centre mid on getting to the box for cross cover centre as well. He'll be doing the same thing as Messi, trying to make those runs in the box, support our 2 strikers and our wide men, and really try and basically put those goals in, give us extra attacking options for cutbacks as well. Now, we do have both of our wide mids on comeback on defence, cut inside, getting behind, getting to the box across. They are on comeback on defence, so if we are obviously getting attacked, they can still help defend. Obviously, it's not our main priority, but it's definitely something we have to look at. Now, we do have them both on cut inside, like I explained, because we do want them to be a little bit more narrow and help build up play, score goals, get in those attacking positions. We do obviously have them on getting behind as well, like I explained as well, trying to get them in those positions to really attack basically our opponent's back line, especially as they do become a bit more narrow. They'll hopefully make those runs in between the fullbacks and the centre-backs. And then obviously we have both as well on getting to the box for cross to be available for those back post crosses and cutbacks as well. Like I said, trying to give us as many as attacking options as possible going forward. All of the centre-backs and the keeper as well are all on default instructions. So guys, like I said, hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. Like I said, this is a bit more of a long form video. It fully explains how I do everything. Hopefully you did enjoy. If you did, please smash a like, drop a comment, drop a sub as well. Let me know what you want to see in the future, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.